It's a widely published statistic that 78% of NFL players will go bankrupt within the first 5 years of leaving the league. It sounds impossible, and when you think about how much money players actually make, it becomes completely unbelievable. But the horrible thing is that it's kind of proving itself to be accurate. It's not just a case of young kid all the money in the world either. While poor financial control and overspending is a large contributing factor to former NFL players going broke, sometimes it's the players that seem to have their heads screwed on tightest, that lose it all to irresponsible investments by their financial managers, uncontrollable market downturns, or mountains of legal fees. In this video, we are going to tell you 12 NFL stars who went completely broke. If you want to see more amazing things like this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel now. Enjoy the video. Number 12. Luther Ellis, career earnings $11 million. Defensive lineman Luther Ellis made at least $11 million during his 1995 to 2003 career with the Detroit Lions. But the two-time Pro Bowler fell on hard times after he left the NFL, ending up in bankruptcy court in 2010. Ellis said he received financial education from his team and the league, but admitted he ignored the advice and made bad choices, including overspending and poor investments, which caused his fortune to go up in smoke. Eventually, Ellis, who was known for his charitable endeavors as a player, had to turn to local churches for help paying his bills and feeding his family of 11 children. The Lions did a good job. They put on financial programs that we had to attend, talking about investing and saving money, gave statistics on how many of us would be broke, Ellis told the Associated Press in 2010. Guys were saying, "It's not going to be me. I'm too smart for that." And here I am, one of those guys. Number 11. Andre Rison. Career earnings $17 million. Andre Rison managed to sign an incredible $17 million contract with the Cleveland Browns back in the day. There he was a prominent and successful wide receiver and earned even more money from various revenue streams. However, like many other players on the list, things got difficult for Rison outside of football. After he retired, he spent large sums of his money, and in 2007 he was ordered to file for bankruptcy after failing to pay for child support. Number 10. Tiki Barber. Career earnings $35 million. Tiki Barber was one hell of a player and pretty chill in front of a camera, so it was only natural that he'd wind up at NBC in a nice cushy analyst role. He then breached contract by cheating on his pregnant wife with a 23-year-old intern. He was dropped like a sack of potatoes. While he didn't officially file for bankruptcy, any money Barber had was split between his career downturn and his now ex-wife's settlement. He publicly declared himself broke before attempting to rejoin the league, unsuccessfully. Number 9. Jamarcus Russell. Career earnings $40 million. Widely regarded as one of the biggest draft busts of all time, Jamarcus Russell threw away every opportunity that was handed to him during his brief stint in the league. He was the first overall draft pick of the 2007 season, earning $40 million in his 3-year career. He was arrested in a sweeping series of codeine abuse investigations throughout the U.S. Legal fees and leaving the league so early haven't helped Russell's situation, with him falling behind on mortgage repayments and owing a stack of back taxes in recent years. He attempted to jumpstart his career in 2013, but failed to attract any interest. Number 8. Vince Young. Career earnings $45 million. Vince Young is the most recent player to go bankrupt on this list, having squandered his career earnings and sponsorship profits almost immediately after leaving the league. He defaulted on a $1.9 million payday loan in 2012 before declaring bankruptcy 1 month into 2014. Number 7. Mark Brunell. Career earnings $50 million. Mark Brunell was off to a good start after leaving the NFL, with a good stake in a profitable real estate business, as well as stakes in numerous Whataburger franchises throughout Florida. But in 2010, it all came crashing down. Brunell was worse than broke, defaulting on several loans and gathering massive debt. Number 6. Lawrence Taylor. Career earnings $50 million. LT really got along with his demons. He developed a pet drug addiction that he nurtured throughout his rookie season and hid from the league officials for quite some time, before falling into a state of full-on drug abuse after leaving the NFL, blowing his millions. He was arrested in a number of drug stings and was caught by the IRS attempting to file a false tax return. Then he was arrested for soliciting a 16-year-old prostitute in 2011. To say it was a fall from grace would be too kind. He actively pursued the lifestyle that crushed him. It was more like he happily jumped from grace. Number 5. Chris McAllister. Career earnings $55 million. Super Bowl winning cornerback Chris McAllister kept his money troubles out of the spotlight, which is commendable given the amount of negative attention such issues usually yield on someone's life. But when he appeared in court to lower his child support and alimony payments in 2011, the extent of his troubles were revealed. There was nothing of his $55 million earnings left. He was beyond broke, living in his parents' basement. Number 4. Warren Sapp. Career earnings $60 million. Warren Sapp was no stranger to controversy during his time both on and off the field. Unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conduct, ejections, threatening behavior, domestic battery, and the infamous skipping incidents, but he managed to land a job with the NFL Network nonetheless. Things caught up to Sapp in 2010, when his business ventures began to fail. It was discovered that on top of his lost investments, he owed almost $1 million in alimony and child support to his ex-wife, was $70,000 behind on property taxes, and owed money to several businesses and associates throughout the country. He filed for bankruptcy in 2012, claiming that he had lost everything to debt, including his Super Bowl and college championship rings. Number 3. Deuce McAllister. Career earnings $70 million. Deuce McAllister made $70 million in his playing career, but he filed for bankruptcy 11 months after he left the NFL. His problems started almost immediately after leaving the league when he invested in a Nissan dealership. The dealership drove him into the ground. Things got so bad that his Louisiana home was auctioned off by the local sheriff. Number 2. Terrell Owens. Career earnings $80 million. Terrell Owens, once king of the OTT touchdown celebration, is now penniless following a string of bad investments, poor financial management, the housing market crash, and a stack of owed alimony, child support, and back taxes. T.O. somehow lost $80 million, and not even his failed attempts at reality TV are gonna bring it back. Number 1. Michael Vick. Career earnings $130 million. Vick's amassed wealth was decimated by the discovery of his active involvement in funding and sustaining a dogfighting ring. When it came out that he had personally bankrolled the ring, he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. During his trial, it was revealed that on top of his involvement with dogfighting, he had also spent $18 million in 1 year, supporting a close circle of friends and his wider entourage. The rest of his fortune was eaten up in legal fees and fines, and in 2008, he filed for bankruptcy, citing a debt of $50 million and outstanding loan amounts upwards of $2 million. Vick's actions were despicable, but he was lucky enough to get a second chance, eventually securing a 6-year, $100 million contract with the Eagles following his release, getting himself out of the bankruptcy ditch.